questions that may have came up last night? I mean, what he said or what we said. No? We good? All right. So yesterday it was already past 5, so I stopped. We still have a couple of things to see with the spine board, long board, back board, named, same thing. Loading and securing. In medical term, we call it packing, like the packaging, literally. Because in case, well, even though there is no head or spine injury, you don't want someone on this, it's loose. So when you're going to carry him, people are different height, and then that's just good enough. The weight of the person can slip and then fall. So it has to be one piece, even more so if you suspect a head or and spine injury. All right. So let's talk about what we have here. Did you bring back your bandages? Yes. I will need the. 3, 4, 5. Give me 7 cravats, please. All right. So for clarification, when there is the hole here, he is hollow. Actually, those we see that in the ambulances across the Philippines, okay? But actually, it's not designed. It's not designed for the ambulance. It's backup. The ambulance we like the DPs one, but we can still work our ways around this. Okay. So what do we have? Spine board, long board, back board. Here it's called a spider strap. Fancy equipment used across the world. Okay. If you don't have this, then we can use the triangular bandage. Right? Here we have C collar, C as in cervical, is called collar. So remember yesterday we had one of the partners performing what's the name of the technique to how it is what's it called?
Ito ka na?
Ano? Satu? What's it called? Sa ulo. Manual head stabilization, immobilization. Alright? So, the partner is at the very first. You remember, I did that. First thing first, I suspect a head trauma or spine injury. I perform the manual head stabilization and then I ask someone to take my place and I can move on with my primary survey and secondary survey if needed. Now, this, we're going to insert this, it's going to help. However, if it's not done properly, it can bring more damage than anything. It's going to keep the head in the position. Right? However, it's adjustable. So you don't want to hyperextend the neck. That you don't want to do that. So you need to adjust. So how do we adjust? So I'm going to need a partner with your chair. Chair. Let's break down all the skills. All right. So this will be placed around the neck, but different person, different size, height of the neck. And this device, very cheap, barato. Actually, it's supposed to be disposable when used. Okay. We can adjust, but it's very, very easy to break. So when you handle it, be extremely careful. So you can see here, cursor here. So you need to open. So usually it's clipped like this, and inside You have to pop it out like this, back. Both sides, back. And then you use two hands, one here, and then you're gonna open and close. Now, how? I mean, what's the size? How do we measure? Metro sensor. He's an engineer here. Metro sensor. So we're gonna use the fingers from the jawline to the collarbone. Yeah, the bukkake. Okay. So, for demonstration purposes, for you to understand, I'm going to use, and then here clearly I have a good 4 fingers. So I'm going to report this where? I'm going to report this here between this and this, because this will be like this and this will be like this, so you don't count the fold. All right. So likely I'm going to have to open all the way. So from the bottom here and here, up, enough. Two. So as you can see, I have to touch. Like that. All right. Good. Now you have to secure it. Flip and flip. You're going to use this one, and this is magic tape, Velcro. So usually our patient is supine on the floor. So this part will go underneath like this. We're going to do that later on. But you don't want to start with this because you really want to have the chin part at the chin level. So what you want to do is to present this at the chin first, and then you insert. Because if you do this, likely you're going to end up wrong. Because naturally you want to end up to put this too far. And then, this one is broken. So, pro tip, you first present the chin, because this is where it's supposed to go, okay? Here, and then you insert here. And then you secure on the other side. It's not a pleasant experience, but make sure it's not hyperextending the patient. Now, this is a good device. However, if this prevents the patient to breathe freely or conveniently, you don't use it. It should not impede, it should not prevent the patient to breathe. Even sometimes it's not the medical, but he will feel not comfortable. And the last thing you want is to have the patient panicking and then having a difficulty breathing. Right? So you have to talk to your patient. Right? So we're going to do the demonstration later on. Oh, but I wanted to do. That's for the simple. So, now, misconception. The C collar, the cervical collar, is not a magic device. It's not because you have the C collar on the patient that you do not perform the manual immobilization. The manual immobilization is the most important. The C collar is an add-on, meaning that you put the C collar and then we're good, you do something else. No. You maintain the manual stabilization. Alright? Now I need the patient. Patient. Il holo, you can hinder. Il holo like that. Very good. And the others, you can hinder, get closer. All right. So, assuming that you're going to need things to pack the patient's back and in between the legs, because there is some void, the natural curve of the body, that's not going to be compatible with immobility. Okay. See. Put the stuff underneath. So I will need you. Oh no. Yeah, the next one. And there. Manual stabilization. Sorry. Yesterday I was a little bit fast. I was conveniently laying down like this, right? Sometimes we don't have the room, the space. So what do? Then you're going to use your body as a support. If you don't have much room, get closer and then you do this. But the most important has to be secure. That's not manual stabilization. Okay? If you look some YouTube video, you will see people, oh no, that's not working. You have to approach case-to-case basis. You can bring the patient's arm here, like this, or sometimes you can, like we did for the recovery, you can bring the arm up when you're going to do the log roll. Right? But the most important is to have crossed arms to make sure that they're going to log roll the patient at one time, at once. Right? Now, that would be the time that when we do the log roll, to do the back, the secondary assessment, looking for step off, if the spine always bumps, okay? Any bleeding, or anything that we didn't see in the first place. Now, we will not, if we have a C-collar, we will insert the C-collar before doing the log roll. We're going to add more safety or before loading. So, while the partner is performing the manual stabilization, while the partner. So, as I said, pro tip. No, seriously. This, if you have Utah, if you go like this, that's going to be dirty, and then after, it won't work. So you want to do this and insert. Alright? So you present here first. But that's not at all the same part, same patient.
Sabun.
Then you see the picture. So here, I see the character. I like So you make sure that the patient can breathe. Like this. Now, remember what we did yesterday? Remember the drill? So, the most important, you really have to secure the arm. Okay? So, either way, this. Oh yeah, you can do that. So since here scenario, remember yesterday I said the maximum, the limit is the knee of the head cap. So here I cannot go super. So we're gonna have to do the solution as you see yesterday, which was alright. And you ready to level. And then at the head count.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Roll.
Character. 1, 2, 3.
Roll. Okay. Now what do we do? I know, 40. That's because the patient is heavy, yeah? So you always want to push with, you always push if it's down with your shoulder facing the direction. If I do this, it's not convenient. I will have more strength doing this. Same if you go up, you go this way, and not the other way. Okay? So your shoulder facing the direction. Yes. So you count.
Slide up and be 1, 2, 3.
Okay, Tamar. Ayahin no?
Slide up and be 1, 2, 3.
Wala, birago.
Ate ha, abot na yun ka. Hindi ka magbira.
Another thing, do not carry the patient, do not pull the patient by the cloth. You don't grab him by the, you don't do this. Because the cloth extend, so that's not to be trusted. Okay? You grab the patient. Now, what do we want to do first? Switch off. Now you don't.
Agbangin.
So, what is the head? Okay. So, this has to be prepared in a way that the feet, as we do one, will be down, and then I'm going to drop this,
Spiders.
this, and this. Alright, see? Now, by the book, it says you start with the feet. I would suggest this to case cases, especially if your patient is on seizure. You want to do the torso first. So anyway, here, the most important part is the torso. Rule of thumb, when you secure someone on the spine board, you don't want to secure at the joint. Because if you attach the patient at the joint, then in the ambulance or in the transport, the patient is under a lot of pressure, the joint can, and is no longer secure. So this should be above, at the leg, okay? We're going to secure the feet later. This one, ideally, at the hip. This one should be under the arm. Because this one will prevent the patient from going down. If you include the arm over, he can slip. Alright? The arm depends. Case to case basis, you can secure the arm with this. That's a possibility. Or, I will show you later on, we can secure the arm here, like that. Okay?
Padripilyo kayo.
Typically, you want the orange together. I'm talking, but it's Bali. But this should be Bali. But you want to maintain this midline in the center of the body. So this is why, because we're gonna here and we will adjust that. Now, if your patient is conscious, you don't want to block his breathing. So if he's conscious, you're gonna, at the time you secure this, at the time you ask him to take a breath. And then you secure. When he's, so now he can breathe freely. Because if you tight the chest when he's, and you tight, then no, right? He still can breathe, but again, your patient is in pain, at low, disoriented, confused. So if he feels that he cannot breathe freely, he's going to panic more. Right? Now, that's the important part. I think it's one thing. Then continue. You can include the arm if you want, or I will show you later. So, now, what I like to do at this point, I like to pad under, because there is a void here. And this void, we can't secure the patient, it's going to move. So we need triangular bandages. Can I have more? No.
Ay, bangil.
Sinasag.
Bangil.
So don't make a ball because that's going to make a pressure point. No?
Ah,
And then, yes. Now we can secure the Now the legs. Now the legs, if you feel, then we can use the elbow. Can I have the elbow here? This elbow.
Abo, okay. No wala.
No. Oh, yeah. That's going to be the elbow.
Tabunan na.
Tapon pa di mo lihok. Di ba?
Now we need to secure those. So, bandages, another one.
Bandit. Bandit.
So,
Ikaw na ba, Raul?
yeah. Okay. Now, look at another triangular bandage, please. What you can do for the camera is
Pampun kadaan.
no, it's just to secure the.
Manumbang
Ah, di mo ngaway.
Mudagan ba?
I knew you're not supposed to leave the.
Ingana ka na kuni kung sapot.
If we have these guys, the head immobilizer, we're going to use it. If you don't have, you can use anything. A towel, jacket, anything that's going to side by side maintain the head. Alright? Because we're going to secure that. Is it too... The flat part against the head. Flat part. No. Now this one is not fancy, pretty simple.
Berihan ako.
Like, it has to be seen.
Ingana.
Pengilan.
Anak kamar anja. Patindukeun raga aja. Samping.
For example, I would not trust this one because the red cord is not open. See? So, like such. Now, not gonna. How so that is the triangular bandage.
Para hinlo pero nigtang-tang ba eh.
Yun, eh?
Dili mo tang-tang nga. Ang laber sa gasa.
Pili dato na.
Pang pilo dato na.
Here.
Square nut mo.